The first word that came to my mind was opportunity.
ShipIt is freedom.
Surreal, I guess, would be the word for it.
The buzz around the office is crazy.
If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
A really small problem, you make something magical happen.
I reckon ShipIt's a bit like a melting pot.
A product development lifecycle condensed into 24 hours.
Limitless possibilities.
Late night conversations over pizza.
Dream.
In 2005, we had like 15 people that did ShipIt, and now we have a few hundred. In 2005, everyone was sitting around a computer. And then we went from one computer to the next computer to the next computer and just looked at the developer's screen, and they just like showed off what they've done. There was no keynotes, there was no beatboxing, no DJing. We didn't have prizes to begin with. It was just like, hey, you win it, that's good.
Hi, Mike Cannon-Brooks, co-founder Atlassian. I've taken part in 33 ShipIts. Hi, Scott Farquhar, also co-founder at Atlassian, and I've taken part in 33 ShipIts.
It was good.
Yeah, I think it actually was really good because it was one of those ShipIts, I think, where we all felt that we kind of actually built something that is really useful. It's definitely, yeah, cool to see like this, I don't know, little idea, I guess, that we had and built in like a day and a half grow to like a product of that size that it could almost sustain its own little small company in a sense.
So somebody shared sort of a YouTube walkthrough of the Slack office, and then they'd point out, oh, here's our meeting room system, and it turns out it's Meet.
Probably one of the more recent trips, maybe last year, and then we're visiting a customer, Eventbrite, and they had an iPad app, a nice slick sign-in thing, and I had a look at it, and actually it was a startup in San Francisco is building the app, and it did a few more things than our one did, but it's like it's a whole company that's actually building this thing that we did at ShipIt.
So the idea was that we wanted to use it as a vehicle for collecting money for charity. We started off, I don't know, 10 in the morning. We got all the kit, we got all the wood, dumped it at the site that we were gonna do the build, and we got started, and we worked hard. We had all the machines and everything, and it got to, 4, 5 in the afternoon, and we had a slightly smaller, slightly more cut up pile of wood.
It's super important to be able to sell your idea well.
It's all in the presentation.
I got to dress up as Darth Vader and move, tickets around from in progress to done live on stage. So it's pretty unreal.
Really tall German dude, hard to miss.
He knows what he's talking about.
Chris Keel?
It's Chris Keel.
Beating Chris Keel is one of everyone's goals here at Atlassian.
I think one time he won because he out-rapped someone else.
There may very well be ShipIt gods, but I don't know who they are. I don't care who they are. Everyone is on a level playing field, and you should all have a crack. Does not matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jay Simons.
Man, that's good energy. Is that the Og Leader group right down there? Yeah. Have you guys had a good summit? Yeah, awesome. So we're at the final stretch. ShipIt Live. Who's excited for ShipIt Live? I know I am. So you saw in that video how important ShipIt is to our culture and our company. It's something that every Atlassian looks forward to doing every single quarter. We brought it to Summit 3 years ago. And I think a lot of you said you enjoyed it, so it's actually the one thing that I look forward to at Summit every year. So before we begin, one question. I'm only going to ask it once, and I want a super, super loud answer from all of you. Are you ready for ShipIt Live? Wait, what is this?
In a world of pure imagination,
Dr. Dom. What are you doing?
Into your imagination.
What are you doing?
ShipIt's about imagination.
ShipIt is my thing.
You look like you've been dressed by Baby Gap.
What?
I'm really sorry, I need you to leave the stage.
You're kicking me off the stage?
Yeah, you look like a Navy Atlassian Baby Gap advert. Please leave the stage. Thank you, Jay. Round of applause for Jay Simons. He means well. ShipIt Live. I want to talk to you really quickly about why we love ShipIt. Why do we do it? Why do we even bother? There's a few things. We invest in a culture of innovation. Not innovation labs, innovation rooms, innovation chalkboards, innovation post-it notes, but embracing the fact that every single person at Atlassian has innovation within them. We also do it because it inspires this freedom, this creativity. It's what we care about. It's the way we work. And it gives place for people to do brilliant work, that mastery that they love every single day. So let's link it quickly to the values. We always talk about the Atlassian values. They kind of embody the reason why we do ShipIt. Be the change you seek. Scratch that itch. You get to look at the things that you don't like in your workplace or the products or the way you work, and you actually get to change them. You get to play as a team. You get to work with other people, probably that aren't like-minded people, and work on a new idea. And you get to do that whilst building with heart and balance. So quickly, how do we do it? It's a really simple process. First of all, and most importantly, you form a team. Again, not like-minded people, but you're trying to get people with different skill sets. We then give you 24 hours to work on whatever you want. Complete freedom, no recourse. There's no such thing as failure. It's just experimentation and trying things. And then the only challenge is what we're going to get 7 teams to do today is to present in 3 minutes to your peers, which in Atlassian world is normally a maximum of about 800 people. But for these guys and girls today, it's a couple of thousand, so be nice to them. Now, an important disclaimer, not all ShipIts ship. A lot of the time, teams are experimenting with concepts and new ideas, and they're doing it just to try it. It's what can we do? What's possible? It's using that imagination. Now, you may have noticed I'm in costume. Has anyone not noticed? We're good, okay. So the costume is part of ShipIt. And there's a reason that I do this, because if I'm going to talk about creativity, and if Jay's going to talk about creativity in his Baby Gap outfit, we need to do this. We actually need to live and breathe creativity. So part of my role is I'm a social lubricant during ShipIt, and I go around in incredibly weird outfits and hand out sweets, just to give people that little bit of fun. Like, you can't take yourselves too seriously when you're trying to innovate. You have to make it fun. It's a buzz, it's an energy, the adrenaline around the office, the vibe, the noise, the engagement. People look forward to ShipIt. When we finish one ShipIt, they tend to start thinking of the ideas that they can start to do in the next ShipIt. It's a great way of making memories and experiences together. So what are we going to do today? We have 7 teams, 4 Atlassian teams that should be experts at this because they get to do it every quarter. And brilliantly, we have 3 customers that have offered to come and talk about ShipIts they've done in their organization, which is really great for us to see. It's great to see this culture of innovation spreading to others. We're going to give them 3 minutes each, and what are they going to get at the end? Well, I would like to say that everyone's a winner at ShipIt, but that is not true. There is one coveted ShipIt champion t-shirt on offer. Ooh, yeah, pretty special. You'll probably find it auctioned on eBay for thousands and thousands of yen later on. So without further ado, let's bring up our first contestant, Tanguy. Now, a little fun fact about Tanguy. He dove 300 feet deep in the ocean in one breath. He's going to use that same breath to talk to you for 3 minutes. But he's actually scared to go on a motorcycle. So 300 feet deep in water, one breath, won't go on 2 wheels. I'll let you be the judge. Welcome on stage, Tanguy.
Thanks, Tom. I love building for the cloud. There are so many services you can use. I can use Pingdom, Datadog, or New Relic to monitor my app, Stripe or Braintree to manage payments for my customers, SendGrid or Mailgun to send them emails, and those apps do the heavy lifting for me. But at some point, one of them is going to go down, and I'd like to get ready. Now, the good news is all these apps use StatusPage to communicate the status of their services to their customers, whether it's an outage, degraded performance, or scheduled maintenance. But today, I have to go in each of these vendors' individual status pages and subscribe to them individually to then receive updates over email and SMS. The thing is, there is one app from Atlassian that I use as a command center. It connects all the tools I use with the people I work with. I mean, you know this app. It's HipChat. So in this ShipIt, I took HipChat and StatusPage and brought them together to create a dashboard that shows you a consolidated status for all the services that you depend on. So let's have a look at it in more details. Let's imagine I'm in my HipChat room, and as any HipChat room, it's connected to the apps I use. It's connected to HipChat, to Jira, to Bitbucket, and a bunch of other add-ons. I'll just go and navigate the marketplace and select from the hundreds of add-ons that are available today the StatusPage dashboard, which I'm talking to you about. I'm just one click away from adding it to my room and making it available to everyone in my team. And straight away, I get something new in HipChat. It's a view of all these services which I can browse and select the ones I depend on. So Atlassian for collaboration, Datadog for monitoring my app. And let's say I use another one which is not listed here. I mean, after all, there are thousands of them, right? So I would just need to navigate to this page from this vendor once, copy its URL, come back to HipChat, paste it there, and one click, done. What you see here in the HipChat right sidebar is a beautiful dashboard showing everything I depend on and their current status. It's beautiful. It comes in pink, in black, in... no, not yet. So what happens when one of these services comes down? Well, they go to StatusPage, they create an incident, and let's say it's about degraded performance. It appears on their page, and straight away, a message comes in my HipChat room. It lets me know that something is going on, so I can plan around it. And the nice thing is that I will stay updated every step of the way when they resolve the incident with notifications going back into the room. But the thing I like the most is that on the HipChat sidebar, I keep my consolidated view always up to date. So even if I miss any of these notifications, I'll always know what's up. So this is StatusPage dashboard. It started as a ShipIt. I finished it in 20% time, and since then shipped it to the marketplace. You can try today, and I hope you find it as useful as I do in my day-to-day work. Thank you.
Awesome work, Tanguy, doing his day job in ShipIt every time. Brilliant at it. Next up, we have Sukhbir and Jacqueline. Sukhbir and Jacqueline are from AdTech. Fun fact about Sukhbir, this is the scariest thing I've ever heard. He's a really keen sailor, and he goes sailing all the time, and he can't swim. How's that for a motivation to stay good at sailing? And for Jacqueline, this is a really important moment. A secret about her is she's always dreamed about presenting in front of thousands of people. Today, that wish can come true. So give them a great welcome, Sukhbir and Jacqueline.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Sukhbir Dhillon, founder and CEO of AdTech. We are Platinum Atlassian experts.
And I'm Jacqueline, marketing specialist at AdTech.
So today I wanted to introduce you to our project. It's called Amazon Echo for Confluence. So Confluence is used by over 50% of the Fortune 100 companies. It drives collaboration at over 13,000 companies worldwide. It spans across multiple industries and different verticals. But how to make these customers use Confluence more effectively, both internally and externally? So think about these scenarios. You could be anywhere, and you want to use Confluence. And how to use Confluence at these places without a keyboard and a mouse. We'll show you how.
Do you know the Wi-Fi password?
I don't. Do you guys know the Wi-Fi password? No?
Hey Alexa, ask Knowledge Base how to connect to the guest Wi-Fi.
Here's the steps for connecting to the guest network. Connect to guest network on the Wi-Fi selection list. Enter the password as Alexa is great. Have fun surfing.
Alexa, ask knowledge base what time is checkout.
The checkout time is 11 a.m. Extended checkout is available at this hotel until 1 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So some of the problems that we solved with our hack. Knowledge training. When you have a group of large employees in a very large organization, it's very important to have that knowledge passed along to everybody equally. With our hack, that does that. With customer service, have you ever had one of those moments have you ever had one of those moments where you were kind of left thinking, you only had one job to do, you had one answer to give me? Well, with our hack, you're able to get quality customer service all the time. And consistent branding. When you give quality customer service and increased knowledge, you're able to get consistent branding all the time across all of your organizations. So Subir, how did we do it?
So how did we do this? We have Code Factory hosting Confluence, and you have Amazon Echo in your hands. Every time you talk to Echo, it initiates a Lambda function, which makes an API call to Code Factory, which sends the response back, and Alexa speaks back to you. And if you want to find more about our project, stop by our booth. We are wearing the blue AdTech 10 T-shirts. This is our 10th anniversary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sukhbir and Jacqueline. It's always quite daunting getting up in front of a whole lot of people, so well done to them. Next up, our third entry, Bitbucket Service Starter Bitbucket. Felix from our Australian office. A fun fact about Felix, he has not held his breath for 300 feet, but has ridden a motorcycle. He is, in fact, the anti-pattern to Tanguy. Welcome on stage, Felix.
The Atlassian model has always been to land in an organization via smaller teams. And while our cloud offerings make this easier than ever, there may be teams and companies that can't use our cloud services. Whether because of network restrictions, data privacy considerations, or the inability to procure the required hardware in order to get started with our server products. Now, we think the Bitbucket is the perfect land product for software teams. All software teams need source control. But what if you're one of those aforementioned teams that can't easily use our existing offerings? I'm happy to be able to present a solution for you today, the Bitbucket Server Starter Bitbucket. So what's in the bucket? The Bitbucket Server Bitbucket is a self-contained Bitbucket Server instance that's ready to go for a small team. Inside is a Raspberry Pi 3, which has both Wi-Fi and Ethernet for connectivity. And the only required connection is power via micro-USB. The status eye is a NeoPixel individually addressable LED RGB ring, powered by an Arduino and connected to the Raspberry Pi via serial interface. Now, our demo unit is powered by a 5,000 milliamp battery, so it can be run entirely wirelessly. Now, to get started, all you need to do is plug in power for the initial setup, and Bitbucket will present itself as an access point. Then you can connect to it and complete the setup process, including configuring a network and the regular Bitbucket server setup. Let's take a look at what it looks like when Bitbucket is actually running. So this is Bitbucket running on the Bitbucket, starter Bitbucket. It works just like any other Bitbucket, except when you clone, the status eye indicates activity. This also works for other events like pull requests or pushes. Now, you can even make the status eye display system information, such as CPU usage or memory consumption. Oh, and one more thing. You can opt to keep the Wi-Fi set up as an access point. So you can take your Bitbucket server with you wherever you or your team go and continue working. It's Bitbucket for all teams, everywhere. Thank you.
Awesome. It was only a few years ago Felix started as a graduate and was probably actually using buckets for other things, but it's going to make a great Christmas present if anyone's got children. You get them coding early. Next up, we have Craig Castlemead from Young and Rubicam Group doing Paperless HR. We had a bit of a moment with Craig before when we asked him what a fun fact was about him, and he panicked so much he had to text message his wife. I'm sure he's going to be fine in front of a few thousand people. He then, after a bit of consultation with his wife, came to the conclusion that he likes to dive in Iceland between tectonic plates. I think she likes to dive in Iceland between tectonic plates, and he's just been told he likes that. Can you welcome on stage Craig?
Hi, everybody. So Young and Rubicam Group is a global network of advertising and marketing agencies, and we have offices in approximately 100 countries. We have quite a complicated organizational structure, and we have been on a journey to consolidate to a single Atlassian instance globally to help support the organizational complexity and also allow teams to work together, and also with shared services such as HR, IT, and finance. We had quite a common problem where when a new starter was meant to start, the person that requested the hire would walk into IT with a piece of paper in their hand and say, is their computer and their account ready? And that was the first time we'd even seen or heard about the person that was meant to be starting. Obviously, that didn't help with getting people up and running on their first day. We needed a solution that would help provide visibility, auditability for SOX compliance reasons, but it also needed to be flexible enough to help us support all of the slight variations in the companies that we supported. And in typical ShipIt fashion, we hacked together a prototype using a Jira workflow. Now, while this may look like a little bit of a complicated workflow, the power of Jira and issue security helped us actually get people to only see the functions that they were able to do. There's permission schemes around who can do what, who can approve, how the approvals need to go. And after reviewing the compliance requirements and the business requirements, this was the workflow that we went with. And it provided everybody the visibility that they needed, and they could let go of that sacred piece of paper that had all the information on it. And it worked. We got some fantastic results. We got a lot of buy-in from HR, IT, and senior management, and we've even had finance teams asking us to run extra reports with all the hire information because we had quality information being captured straight at the source. And with a lot of senior management that needed to be involved in the approval process, they weren't always in the office. They were all over the place. And because it's externally accessible, they were able to do the approvals on the go, but we were still able to maintain that complete audit log. Since then, we've expanded on our process, and we've got it to integrate into Active Directory and, again, use the quality information and create Active Directory accounts. We've also got it to trigger knock-on workflows, and it'll create all of the subtasks for the various teams that are involved to go in and set up all of the accounts in all of the various systems. And it creates a list of Jira tasks for the starter. So on their first day, one of the first things that they do is log into Jira and get used to the way that we do things. Again, using the quality information that we've also got the system to build organizational charts based off the manager reporting lines. And our next step is to integrate it into Office Space, which is our facility management application. And when a person is exiting the organization, it will free up their seat. And when somebody's starting, it will show the hire requester a list of the seats that are available for that person to start on that day. And that's our ShipIt. Thank you.
Really awesome, not just to see customers embracing the culture of innovation and the challenge around ShipIt, but using Jira for something so novel, for taking a business use case that can be so painful and simplifying it using the power of Jira. Next up, Brian, Swift, and Laron. Brian, really interesting fact about Brian. He doesn't think he's related to Bob Swift or Taylor Swift, but he's not 100% sure. He did have the caveat, he's not checked for certain. And with Laron actually used to be a guitarist in a rock band touring the country. So welcome our favorite rock and roll and Taylor Swift singer doing add-on Matchmaker.
All right. Our ShipIt was add-on matchmaking for Confluence Connect. And just like matchmaking in real life, this ShipIt was all about love. On the Confluence team, we have the privilege of working with two different sets of customers. We have add-on developers building amazing add-ons for all of our amazing customers. And our challenge is to try to connect these two. So in a way, we're kind of acting like Cupid. Because we know that once customers actually get these add-ons and find the value they're looking for in them, they're much happier. And we have a lot of data that backs this up. So we asked ourselves, how can we make it easier for users to find add-ons that they're going to fall in love with? We think we can do a better job of this. So when we started, we tried to understand the journey, the emotional journey of all of our customers. And it starts with understanding that Confluence doesn't support something specific that you need. You then discover that there actually is this amazing marketplace. You find an add-on that can actually help, and then install it and actually complete the task that you set out to do. And with our ShipIt, we really wanted to be focused, so we wanted to understand how we can make it easier to discover these add-ons. So let us show you what we built. I'm going to hand it over to Laron, and she's going to walk you through it.
Thanks, Brian. So, as a product manager working in Confluence, I often want to insert a diagram into my page so I can share it with my team. Naturally, I will go into the macro section to select a diagram type. Notice that rather than having to select a macro from a category, we've made it more focused on what the user wants to do. In this case, I want to insert a diagram. Now, normally I would only see macros and add-ons here that I've already installed, but we've added a whole new section that shows you what else is out there. Oh, this Glyphy thing looks pretty interesting. I want to check out its profile. So, cool. Now I can see more photos of Glyphy. I can see that it's widely installed, which validates that it's a popular add-on. I can see who else requested this add-on on the lower right corner. And I can view it on the marketplace to see more relevant information, its pricing, anything that could make me hooked. And I am. I'm so hooked on Glyphy that I'm going to swipe right. So if we were to continue this ShipIt, our potential next steps would be first and foremost to empower the admin, of course. Secondly, we would definitely want to expand the use case to go way beyond just macros. And lastly, just like modern matchmaking apps today, we want to get smarter by using the data to optimize the experience. So our team here really wants to help all of you find your true add-on match. So vote for us, because a vote for us is a vote for love. Thank you.
When they told me they were doing something related to Tinder, I got really nervous. I'm like, it's not the right conference. You're going to ruin things. Thank you very much to Laron and Brian. Next up, a personal favorite of mine, Andreas. So instead of an interesting fact about Andreas is kind of the lifeblood of Atlassian. He's now an ex-Atlassian. He's part of our alumni. But what's great to see is he's taken the wisdom and the spirit and the excitement of ShipIt, and he's taken that to his new organization. So here to share a story of a ShipIt that he's done in his new organization, can you please give a warm welcome to Andreas?
Thanks, Tom. Hi, everyone. So today I want to share the story of how one of our internal ShipIts grew out of control, and we ended up adding Marvin the robot as a third member to our team. But first, let's talk a little bit about the problem that we faced. So we're a cloud add-on vendor, and as such, we do a lot of releases. So we often release multiple times a day, sometimes even multiple times an hour. Now, as anyone here who does releases knows, these come at a cost. So you have to build, test, and deploy your software. But then there's all these manual steps. You have to update your issues, set fixed versions, move them to done. And finally, you have to notify all the members in your team. And so this was adding quite a bit of overhead for our small team. And so we did what all great software teams do at this stage, and we hacked together a really ugly shell script. And this kind of worked, but it was quite a lot of work to come up with this, and it was very difficult to maintain. And so this is really where we thought there has to be a better way. And so we came up with this idea that we could create Marvin, the miserable release robot, because we'd never met a happy release manager in our lives. And so the idea was simple. We wanted to create an Atlassian Connect add-on for Jira Cloud on top of Amazon Lambda. So we picked Lambda because we wanted this to be as cheap as possible to run. And we also felt that it was a good fit because we could add many third-party integrations quickly, simply by finding new Lambdas. And so in typical ShipIt fashion, we hacked away at this over a 24-hour period, and this is what we came up with. So the UI was pretty ugly, but we had these triggers, conditions, and actions that we could combine to actually manage our releases. And this is really where this project took on a life of its own. And we got a little bit obsessed over a couple of weeks, and added many more of these conditions and actions. And in fact, today, we use Marvin to automate a lot more than just our releases. So we automatically assign tasks to different members in the team, and we even automatically monitor SLAs and escalations in our support system with Marvin. So let's take a look at what it looks like today. So here we're going to create an automation rule with Marvin to manage our releases. So first, we add an incoming webhook trigger that looks for all issues that are currently waiting for deployment. Next, we add a transition to move all of those issues to done. And then finally, we add another action to send a message to our HipChat room, letting our team know that this release has just happened. So really quick and easy to set this up. Now let's take a look at what happens when we do an actual production release. So here is our release process running. And the last step of this is to send a webhook to Marvin to kick off this rule. Now, if we jump into Jira, all those issues waiting for deployment automatically jump across to done. And we go into HipChat, and we get a nice little notification telling us that our release has just happened. So this has really saved us a huge amount of time in the last couple of weeks. And we really wanted to share this with all of you. So Marvin is now available in the marketplace. We call them Automation for Jira. And there's a Lite version that you can use completely for free. So we hope you enjoyed this little story of how we went from ShipIt to product. Thank you very much.
Awesome work, Andreas. Can't wait to go to his sort of Code Barrel user conference in a few years where they reveal at their fireside chat that their third employee was Marvin the robot. Next and last but not least is Shihab. So you would have seen Shihab in the video as you were coming in, walking through the stage, dressed as Darth Vader. Shihab is a star at all things ShipIt, and is often seen in the finals in Sydney. So can you please welcome on stage for our final ShipIt Live entry, Shihab and Charlie Bot.
So at Atlassian, we've got loads of different systems. And as a new employee, or even as an old-timer, it can be really hard to figure out where to go to start looking for some answers. Now, many people, including myself, we just resort to HipChat to find someone to ask or really annoy to get these answers. Now, talking to my mates in IT who get annoyed quite a lot, these are some of the common questions that they have to field. I'm locked out of my account. I'm having Wi-Fi problems. Can I get a new computer, a new keyboard, mouse? Now, most of these questions, they have direct solutions in our intranet, our knowledge base, our Q&A platform, or they exist as request types on a service desk. But it's just too hard to look across all of these things. So we've started to prototype a bot called Charlie that can help answer questions like this by querying these systems for you. Now let's take a look at it in action. Jerry starts a conversation with Charlie. How do I get a new laptop? Now, in this case, Charlie's found a few knowledge articles as well as request forms from Service Desk. So Charlie waits for a while, waits for Jerry to do something. It looks like you created a hardware request. Was that what you were looking for? It's kind of creepy, but yeah, thanks. Awesome. Glad I could help. Now, Charlie learns that hardware request is probably the best response for this question. So the next time someone asks something similar, the best response can be shown straight away. So the neat thing here is Charlie's learning from every single interaction. But what if Charlie has no idea what the best response should be? How do I get a new swipe card for the building? Now, Charlie does his best to find anything that's related from the connected systems. Did any of these help you? Nope. None of these answer Jerry's question. But we know that humans are super resourceful, so we expect Jerry to somehow figure it out. If Charlie didn't exist, he'd probably ask the person next to him or hip chat the building security team. He'll figure it out. Now, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to ask Jerry to help train the bot. Sorry to hear that. If you do find a solution, let me know, and I'll remember it for next time. All right. So when someone says, how do I get a new swipe card for the building? What should I say? Go to reception on level 6. They've got spare cards available. Got it. Thanks, Jerry. Now, some of you guys are used to creating knowledge base articles and things like that. This is lightweight knowledge base on the fly. Now, let's up the game one final level. Another area we're playing with is the ability to ask structured questions, like, who is Vincent? So we're asking the question, who, about Vincent. So we can use basic natural language processing to figure out this is probably a question for our internal people directory. Which Vincent did you mean? All right, let's pick one. Vincent Wong is a product manager on the Jira Service Desk team. So Charlie's been kind enough to give us a link to Vincent's profile online so we can find out more information. Or we could just ask Charlie, where does he sit? So we're asking the question where about the current person that's in context. This is pretty awesome. And in the future, you can ask questions like, what is he working on? Is he free for lunch tomorrow? And so on. So vote 1 for the future. You know it's coming.
Just one more massive round of applause for all our 7 entries, please. That was absolutely amazing. I'm sure you can see there that there's real imagination, curiosity, solving problems, trying to look out for opportunities. So now's the big important time, voting. Go.atlassian.com/vote. You have one vote. You alone in the room get to pick the winner of ShipIt Live for Summit 16. So we're going to give you 90 seconds, get voting, and we're going to invite the finalists back out on stage. You get to vote too. You vote for yourself. If you go, turn around. If you go, move back a bit. Oh, 404. We'll give you more than 90 seconds. Let's get that fixed. Okay, got your picture. 404. Everyone's a winner. I get to pick the winner. Just give us a few seconds and we'll see if we can get that fixed. Oh, go.Atlassian. Did I say go to? Oh, is it working? It's working for Karen. Karen's the 1 vote so far. 2 votes, 3 votes, 4 votes. Everyone's voting. It's working? picture we got Charlie in the mirror. Anyone still voting? Give me a wave if you're still voting. If you're still awake. Just a couple of waves. Okay. We'll give you a few more seconds. Going to close voting in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, let's lock voting.
So, I want to award the winners. I took you seriously. I went out and got the
I can't
costume.
take you seriously.
So can I award the winners?
You can award the winners.
All right, here we go. All right. You're going to lead drum rolls.
Traditionally at Atlassian is we like to do a drum roll, but we're a bit weird, so we do drum rolls with our feet. So if you can bang on the floor as loud as possible. We're going to start with third place. Third place, Summit 16, ShipIt Live. Go.
Wait. That's my job.
Oh.
Third place, Summit, ShipIt Live 2016 is Marvin the Robot.
Woo-hoo!
All right. Good job, Andreas. All right, let's get a drum roll again.
Drum roll, you ready for the drum roll again? Bit louder, bit harder.
The second place for Summit 2016 ShipIt Live is Bitbucket Server. Nice job. All right, here we go. Start them up, Dom.
Are you ready to do the drum roll?
All right, and the grand prize winner for Summit 2016 ShipIt Live is... Oh!
Charlie Bot!
Charlie Bot! Woo!
Right.
All right, everybody, that's it for ShipIt Live. Thank you so much for spending 2.5 days with us. Some of you that did training, 5 days at Summit. One quick announcement, if we can get the slides advancing, is we are actually back here, back here in Barcelona in May 2nd through the 4th. So please join us for our first European Summit in Barcelona. It's going to be an awesome time. And if that's too far for you to travel, we'll be back here in San Jose, September 12th through the 14th, 2017 next year. We hope to see all of you. Have a great travel back to wherever you live, and see you next year. See you in Barcelona. Thanks so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this session. Please exit via the corner doors on the left. Again, please exit via the corner doors on the left behind you. Have a wonderful evening and a safe trip home.